The film begins with a girl in the snowy area. She was running as if she was saving her life, because she was being chased by zombies. She was unable to save her own life despite her best efforts and she gets killed. After that, we see 7 friends in the car, going to celebrate their Easter festival. The place they were going was behind the mountains and is named Oxford, where Vegard had a friend and she had a cabin. When they arrive in Oxford, they park their car, because the car is unable to move any further. After that we see Vegard riding his snow bike and others follow him. They eventually arrive at the cabin while having great time in the snow. After that, we see Liv is going home but she sees someone is already there. She gets scared and runs to the cabin, and tells all friends that she saw something over there. They all stands up and go to check, and as they approach there, they don't see anything. At the time, a man appears and asks for coffee. While drinking coffee he picks up their bear and drinks it. He was behaving as if it was his own house. After this, he starts telling about the dark past of that place. He says when Second World War happened, the location was then taken over by Nazis. Colonel Herzog was in charge of that location. Those Nazis made the life of inhabitants very difficult, but after that they started to feel their defeat, and they started to running away from there. After which, their captain also ran away, but because of too much cold he died there. He says I'm sure that even today those evil powers exist there. At that time, Roy starts laughing at him and starts making fun of him. He claims that because we are medical students, we do not believe in such things. He also says that we don't know why those evils and their powers vanished. After listening to him, that person becomes very angry and he holds him in anger. And says when your intestine would be pulled out, would you treat that? He warns them and puts his tent outside. He was angry and takes a meal. After some time he listens voices, then he goes out to inquire, but he sees a zombie standing nearby. He thinks of saving his life from him, but suddenly another zombie approaches and cuts his throat. He still somehow manages to escape towards his tent. Zombie also follows him and kills him. Vegard had a great impact of his story, and he was worried about her friend Sarah. He decides that he will find Sarah. He tells his friend that he is going. And if he doesn't return, they can go to our cars and seek help from there. After that Vegard moves, and as he leaves the remaining starts enjoying themselves, because nobody was taking that person seriously. On the other side, Vegard was searching for Sarah. He approaches to the same person's tent. He sees that man dead and he discovers bloody foot impressions. He has no clue where they were heading, but he follows. After some time he falls underground. On the other hand, everyone was curious about the box they found in that home. After opening they finds gold and valuable things in that box. At that time their mind finally strikes about Nazis. They believe that it was the same gold Nazis were stealing. But Martin says no, you all are thinking wrong. Then Arland enters a small home and Chris also follows him. After making out, Arland comes back but Chris doesn't. She was there because she assumes that Arland might be joking with her, but suddenly a zombie attacks her. She shouts and runs towards her cabin, but they were listening to loud music, so they couldn't hear. But Henna listens. She turns the music off and watches out for the voice she heard. A zombie catches Chris and takes her along with himself. Henna keeps looking out but she couldn't find anything. She thinks there must be something wrong and says that I'm not feeling right. 4 of them start finding Chris but couldn't find her. Instead, they find her bag. Now they fell in doubt about that place. Henna was constantly looking outside. As she was looking out, Chris comes across and she gets happy. After watching Chris for a while she finds out that it was only Chris's head. She yells out loudly. Liv rushes over to Henna to inquire about her shouting. She also looks outside but she can't see anything. As Liv looks outside, a zombie grips her hair. Everyone helps her and they free her up with very difficulty and shut the door off. Zombies were so much powerful and great in numbers that they were trying to come in from all sides. Henna then slashes hand of a zombie. They've realized they were Nazi zombies all along. Arland fears a lot and he asks everyone to take care. He was trying to tell them trick of some movie using which they could save themselves, but a zombie comes and holds his head and breaks it into 2. On the other hand, we see Vegard and he realizes that he is trapped in a cave. He picks up wood and fires it up, and then he comes inside to see and finds that it was a secret path. There were so many things which belonged to the Germans. He also finds helmets with them. As he was watching the helmets he finds Sarah's head over there. Being scared he comes out of that tunnel. A zombie catches him up but he fights with that zombie, and tries to save his life, but at the same time another zombie shows up coming out of ground. On the other hand, rest of the people that were present in the cabin was making a plan. They say that 2 people will engage zombie and talk so as to divert their attention. And rest of the 2 would take help from the car. After that, we see Martin and Roy who try to engage zombies. At the same time Henna and Liv run towards the car for help. Both of them forget the path. After being trapped in such a big situation, suddenly a zombie appears. Vegard, who was fighting with zombies, kills both the zombies. But a zombie catches him, and they both fell down. Zombie and Vegard both were tied to the rope and zombie attacks his neck. But he still manages to save his life and throws zombie down. On the other hand, Hannah and Liv, who were out for help, were also fighting the zombies. But Liv couldn't fight with them. A zombie catches her and kills after thrashing into pieces. Before dying, she takes out an electric stick and kills all the zombies. Captain Herzog reaches out after watching this explosion. Hannah was standing at the top seeking for help. She breaks ice and fells with zombie. She survived, and as she wakes up she finds herself on the ice. She watches a zombie also trapped in ice. So, without wasting any time, she kills him. Vegard, whose neck was injured, tries to stitch his neck by himself. He takes out his weapon and puts it on his snow bike and goes out to kill those zombies. Martin and Roy were there to divert zombies. Roy tries to throw a blast outside, but it gets blast in cabin. They both escape so as to save themselves. After that, they go to a shed and find a lot of weapons there. They plan to pick those weapons. As they come out, they see zombies' army. Using those weapons, they kill zombies one after another. A lot of zombies come in front of them and Vegard approaches there. He fires from his machine gun and kills all the zombies. After that, many zombies appear, but Vegard kills them too. Zombie attacks him and breaks his legs and arms. Both of his friends were witnessing this. Martin gets angry and he starts hitting those zombies badly. When he was hitting zombies, suddenly Hannah approaches there. He thinks her of as zombies and attacks her as well, cutting his throat with a saw. Martin gets very sad. While killing them, one zombie attacks his hand and cuts him. When the zombie was thrashing him, he remembers that person they met and cuts his hand. He was happy that he won't become zombie. Suddenly a zombie appears from inside the ice. He still tries to save his life. He shouts very loudly and starts hitting zombie with his leg. He kills every zombie. Now only the Captain Herzog is left. They think they would kill Herzog and run. But Herzog opens up his mouth and starts saying something. Even the earth began to shatter and continued to shatter as he spoke. One by one, those dead zombies become alive and form an army again. They try to run away. At the time, Herzog was carrying a hammer. Roy's foot gets tangled up in the shrubbery and Herzog hits his head. The worst thing happens with him. Captain comes back to Roy and takes out a watch from his pocket. Martin gets to know that these zombies want valuable things, so he enters the cabin and picks the box containing gold. After which he passes that box to Captain Zombie, who gets very calm. Martin then proceeds to save his life from there and walks up to his car. As he reaches there, he sits in the car. He starts the car, and the coin Hannah gave him falls to the ground. Captain Herzog appears and starts shouting badly and tries to break his window. Movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.